Black Goddess Consciousness. What is Black Goddess Consciousness? It's the spiritual, experiential, and intellectual study of the ancestral remembrance, acceptance of the African matriarchy and the divinity, sacredness, and holiness of the great cosmic mother in her most ancient forms as the melanated woman. Black Goddess Consciousness is rooted in the ancient principles of the goddess Mayat and thus propagates and proselytizes self-healing, spiritual wellness, and a high quality of life for all humanity. Now, if you come into the Black Goddess Consciousness realm, you either subscribe to the Black Woman is God philosophy or the Great Cosmic Mother. Either way, I have a question. What does the Black Woman is God philosophy actually look like? What's our symbolism? What's our deity look like? How do the people act? All other religions have these components, but the Black woman. Think about it. If you see a person walking down the street, can you tell that they worship the Black woman? I know you can spot a Muslim. I know you recognize Christianity and their deity, even Hebrew Israelites and their deity, which is just a Black Christ. We even recognize those who come to our door, Jehovah's Witnesses. But when it comes to the Black woman being God, where are our works? What do we do to show that we venerate our God? We already know who our teachers are. Natural Tahuti, Young Pharaoh, General Study, Dr. Delbert Blair, and Brother Polight.
Because this topic so important to you. Why is this so important to you to prove that the woman is God?
It's important to me to prove that the woman is God because the Black community is...
Because he came from one, that's why.
The Black community is at a handicap, only making subscriptions to the power and influence of the male. Okay? They've only leaned there. For instance, many of us were brought up into communities or been subject to the ideologies that the Black man is God. And no one complained. Look how it resonates in people when I say the Black woman is God. They appreciate that subject matter as though I'm trying to take something away from the male. It's not synonymous with taking anything away from the male. But yet I find that I cannot have the conviction that the Black woman is God without a male feeling so insecure that he thinks that his manhood is under attack. I never told the man that you're not God, but you have to qualify yourself to have conversation that doesn't include you specifically at times. That's what you have to do. Now, what I realize is the handicap in the community, because if you look at Malcolm X, you see Malcolm X holding his head like this. And he's by himself in the picture, you know, and we know that he's our freedom fighter. And you look at Martin Luther King, and he's holding his head like this. And you know he's our freedom fighter. You know what I'm saying? You can even look at Obama for what it means to represent. Don't tell me about all your Illuminati speculations. I'm making a point. You can even look at Obama, and he's holding his head like this. And you can look at Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and he has a head gesture too. Well, the thing is, all these guys have been identified as our liberators, our freedom fighters, right? But they're always being depicted as our freedom fighters by themselves, separate from their family, separate from their wife, separate from their children. Their images always are hung up without you seeing their female counterparts. Yet all of them had wives, and I cannot doubt, for every leader of huge significance in our community, it is no coincidence that they all had wives. Yet, when you see the story or the conveyance is given to you about who and what they are and what they have done, by the time the picture is generated, you're missing their whole family. So what happens is you start making liberation synonymous with the male. You start making this a man's struggle. And thus man will continue to struggle. The struggle will perpetuate itself. So the reason why we have to say the Black woman is God is to put a halt to the subtle male chauvinism that's taking place. The subtle. Because this thing cannot be taken on without the participation of the whole family. So as I work my way into the female, then we work our way into the children. Okay, but just by dealing with the female, that encompasses the child and her male counterparts. You see, there's a reason why the ancestors said if you teach a male, you teach an individual. If you teach a woman, you teach a nation.
Right.
You see, the next set of drug dealers or mathematicians come out of her womb.
Now, has it always been this way? No, of course not. We're just going back to our roots.
The white man is the result of the dissatisfaction that was in the black man. When the black man forsake and went against the great mother, who is the oldest God on the goddamn planet, I will prove that. The oldest God, the first representation of the icon of the supreme deity was the black woman, and she was alone with no goddamn man, by herself. Now, am I saying black women are greater than men? That's not what I'm saying. You're misinterpreting what I'm saying. But there was a time in human history that the black woman was the epitome of spirituality, of beauty, and all of the other components of life on this planet.
And it has been proven that our concept of spirituality has always been with the Great Mother. It shows in our statues and temples that all predate Jesus Christ, up to 35,000 years. It's shown in our art and carvings and temples that has been built for the goddess. And these are the teachings of our scholars who woke up and decided to teach Black Goddess consciousness. So I ask, now that we have the understanding, what do we do with these teachings? Is the true God not worthy of recognition, worship, or celebration? And if you think about it, the state in which we are living just shows how we have forgotten about our mother. So at this point in time, we have all the knowledge, all of the scientific, archaeological evidence showing that the Black woman is God. So what are we really going to do about it? And honestly, the answer is so simple. We just have to start embodying our philosophy. Now is the time to implement what we've learned by simply returning back to our ancient cultural practices. Stay tuned for part 2 of this video, where I break down exactly how we can implement goddess worship in our everyday lives. And if you have Facebook, please join our group, Black Goddess Group, where you get all of the information and facts that you need to actually learn why the Black woman is God, if you don't already know. But thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time.